Hello, Body and Messiah. I know you're probably wondering why is she holding this photo of Kaepernick and this Jewish American immigrant. Um, I'm going to explain it in further detail in just a moment. So hold on a second. Right. Well, Body and Messiah, today the topic is going to be about the national anthem and the Babylonian beast system. Today, I'm a little grieved because I've heard the news where the NFL is making it mandatory for the NFL players, if they're out on the field, outside of the locker room, and the national anthem is played, they have to stand. They've made it mandatory. If not, they could get fined and the team could get fined. But if they do not want to stand for the anthem instead of protesting, they're basically making it mandatory that they go and stay in the locker room. If not, they're going to be fined. Body and Messiah, not all of the NFL is okay with it. The New York Jets owner, from what I heard, is has an issue with it and said that he's going to allow the players to protest like as they see fit, and he's going to take care of the fines or what have you. But Body and Messiah kind of grieves me that we're at this point where even people in the Body of Messiah think this is a great idea, that it be mandated that people have to give honor to a flag, mind you, and a song. A song, mind you, that is extremely racist in its beginning. I'm going to give you a brief history lesson of this song. The song for the national anthem was created by Francis Scott Key. He made the stanzas of the poem for this particular song that we know as the national anthem today, based on his anger and hatred towards a group of black British military soldiers who were trying to fight for their freedom. They were told by Britain if they fight against the Americans, that they could earn their freedom. So Francis Scott Key witnessed these black British soldiers slaughtering some white American soldiers, and he was disgusted and so angry. And so, in the complete version of what we know as the national anthem, he shows his true colors and how he hates the fact that these people should never be allowed to lay their hands on a white man or a white person ever in order to kill them. And they should always be beneath, basically, the white man. So, this song was generated, or poem rather, was in 1814. In 1889 was when the Navy would play the song sometimes. And then when President Woodrow Wilson came into office on March 19, in year 1931, is when he made it a national anthem where the song could be played and represents the nation. So it hasn't been an entire 100 years for there to be a national anthem. And people in the Body Messiah have to be mindful of the fact there were other ways that we showed honor for America or allegiance to America and fighting for the country. Now, all of a sudden, people are acting like it is such a against God's law that people would protest against the flag or the national anthem, a song being played. There's something wrong in the body if we feel that way, if members in it feel that way. They're losing the whole point and the reason why Kaepernick initially kneeled down. He at first was sitting and he wasn't even standing when the national anthem, was being played. It was a Green Beret who convinced him to do it differently and to show honor at the same time. So what he said that he should do is kneel down. That's what soldiers would do for other fallen soldiers in memory of them. Mind you, it was on the heel of all these police shootings of unarmed black and brown men and women, where the person who murdered them walked free each time. That is an injustice. That is an injustice that bothers the Most High God, and it should bother the Body of Messiah. But the Body of Messiah, for the most part, stayed deathly silent when that particular situation would happen. And so it took this brave young man, this brave athlete who was very intelligent, mind you, to say, hey, I don't feel this national anthem. I don't feel it's doing justice to all in the country. And it's written for all. And he's being truthful. Body of Messiah, he did something that was a silent protest. And now it's being mandated. You cannot convince me. The only place in the world where you have mandated standing and honoring a national flag or a song being played, where it's mandated. You've had that in regimes that were dictatorial or totalitarian. For instance, Stalin, Hitler. So this brings me back to the photo that I was showing. This photo I came across of this Jewish immigrant was when I was doing some research for biblical racial reconciliation a few years back, a couple of years ago. And I noticed how this Jewish American immigrant and Colin Kaepernick, to me, favored. They resembled each other. And you know what? From the first time that Colin Kaepernick began to kneel down in protest, it reminded me of only one thing in the Bible. It reminded me of some Hebrew, some Israelites from Daniel chapter 3, where they were named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Body of Messiah, go back and read it. Read it, and I pray that you absorb the word in Daniel chapter 3. This is exactly what Kaepernick and others who chose to kneel down and protesting the injustice it reminded me of. Now, this is one place in the Bible where a song, whenever it was played, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon at that time, who was an idol worshiper, who had built this golden statue, said it was mandatory for people, whenever the songs and the trumpets were played, to turn around and worship this golden statue. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, nope, we will not do it. You know, if we perish and die, fine, but we will not bow down and worship an idol. This infuriated King Nebuchadnezzar, so he had his servants heat up the ovens to throw them in. And it was heated up so high that even the people who walked Shadrach and Meshach to the ovens and threw them in were disintegrated. They were burned up. But guess what? Not a piece of their clothing, not 1 inch of it was singed, burnt, or smelled like smoke. And they came out of the fiery furnace unscathed. They were not harmed in any way. The Most High shielded and protected them. This was a pivotal, brave act by these young men, but the Most High let them be a living testimony to Nebuchadnezzar. And Nebuchadnezzar from that day forth said that the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is the only Most High God, and we should worship him. Now, Body of Messiah, I believe this is one of the litmus tests where God is trying to see. He's going to separate the wheat from the chaff, the thing that is needed and can be useful to the thing that is worthless. I think if we sit down and are dormant about this situation, the tentacles of Babylon is beginning to be rooted and is showing its ugly head in this beast system. And if we don't show our election sure, it's going to start spreading from not just the NFL protests, but you're going to see places in the workplace where they're going to start playing the national anthem just to see who's going to stand and who's going to kneel down. It's going to place some people's jobs in jeopardy. When Kaepernick first started protesting, you would see in high school where coaches and people were in an uproar that if any players protested, they would take them off the team. They would shut down cheerleaders who might have kneeled down to protest. There is something wrong, Body of Messiah, when you lose sight of the main purpose and reason why this young man was protesting. He's protesting against injustice. He's protesting against a beast system that is doing things that are not right and honorable in the eyes of God. Now, what's strange to me, even stranger than most anything and kind of offensive, is that I've seen so many members, leaders in the Body of Messiah, stand up and just basically give a tongue lashing to all those who are protesting. They are up in arms and angry. And as they sit there and say, how dare them, they can go to another country if they don't like this country. They're losing sight of the reason why they're protesting. These same leaders in the body of Messiah have been deathly silent when unarmed brown and black men and women and children have been shot and murdered. Never once had you heard them speak up and say, we should pray for the families, pray for the mother that has lost her son or daughter, or pray for the son and daughter that has lost their mother or father. Not one time have you heard these people get up in arms about human lives being taken and no one giving an account for it, no justice being reflected. There's something wrong, body of Messiah. And I pray that you make your election sure. You know, Kaepernick is doing something I feel is more honorable than a lot of these leaders. And I pray that you yourself individually will trust in the Most High and make your election sure. Pray for those who put themselves out there, to do what is honorable and right. Pray for their families. But you know what? Even if you choose not to pray for them, the Most High is going to shield and protect them. Like I said, He's looking for those who will stand up for what is right and just. Now, body of Messiah, know that He loves us with an unfailing love. But you better trust and believe that He's always seeking who is going to trust Him with all their heart. On that note, I'm going to end this lesson. I pray that you do go and read through Daniel chapter 3. I hope it resonates within your spirit. And body of Messiah, we love you. I hope you can join us for the next lesson. Take it easy. Goodbye.